Hi everyone. Welcome to another vocab builder video. Our first word for today is calamity. It means an event causing great and often sudden damage or distress, a disaster. For example, the journey had led to calamity and ruin. The next word is beseech. It means ask someone urgently and fervently to do something, implore, entreat. For example, they beseeched him to stay. Up next, compact. It means closely and neatly packed together, dense. Consider this example, a compact cluster of houses. However, in a different situation. It's defined as composed or made up of. Consider this example, towns compact of wooden houses. The next word is chant. It's defined as a repeated rhythmic phrase, typically one shouted or sung in unison by a crowd. For example, a group of young people set up a chant of "Why are we waiting?" However, in a different situation. It means a short musical passage in two or more phrases used for singing unmetrical words, a song or canticle sung to such music. Moving on. Up next, adjoin. It means be next to and joined with a building, room, or piece of land. For example, the dining room adjoins a small library. Up next, concession. It means a thing that is granted, especially in response to demands, a thing conceded. Consider this example, the strikers returned to work having won some concessions. However, in a different situation. It means a preferential allowance or rate given by an organization. Consider this example, tax concessions. In other places, it's defined as the right to use land or other property for a specified purpose, granted by a government, company, or other controlling body. For example, new logging concessions. Up next, animated. It's defined as full of life or excitement, lively. For example, an animated conversation. However, in a different situation. It's defined as of a movie or image made using animation techniques. For example, an animated version of the classic fairy tale. Next up, commune. It's defined as a group of people living together and sharing possessions and responsibilities. For example, she went to California and joined a commune. However, in a different situation. It means the smallest French territorial division for administrative purposes. For example, very few of the abbey's vineyards were actually located within the commune of Hautevillers. However, in a different situation. It's defined as the group that seized the municipal government of Paris in the French Revolution and played a leading part in the Reign of Terror until suppressed in 1794. Moving on. The next word is consecrate. It means make or declare something, typically a church, sacred, dedicate formally to a religious or divine purpose. For example, the present Holy Trinity Church was consecrated in 1845. The next word is avenge. It's defined as inflict harm in return for an injury or wrong done to oneself or another. Consider this example, his determination to avenge the murder of his brother. The next word is accessible. It means of a place able to be reached or entered. For example, the town is accessible by bus. In other places, it means of a person, typically one in a position of authority or importance, friendly and easy to talk to, approachable. Consider this example, he is more accessible than most tycoons. The next word is breadth. It means the distance or measurement from side to side of something, width. Consider this example, the boat measured 27 feet in breadth. Up next, avow. It means assert or confess openly. Consider this example, he avowed that he had voted Republican in every election. Up next, Commonwealth. It's defined as an independent country or community, especially a democratic republic. Moving on. In other places. It means undefined. Moving on. In other places. It's defined as the general good. For example, the notion of a commonwealth, of a common good, is disappearing. The next word is bruise. It means an injury appearing as an area of discolored skin on the body, caused by a blow or impact rupturing underlying blood vessels. Consider this example. His body was a mass of bruises after he had been attacked. Up next. Bust. It's defined as a woman's chest is measured around her breasts. For example, a 36-inch bust. However, in a different situation. It's defined as a sculpture of a person's head, shoulders, and chest. Other words that mean the same are sculpture, carving, effigy. Up next. Constituent. It means being a part of a whole. Consider this example, the constituent minerals of the rock. However, in a different situation. It's defined as being a voting member of a community or organization, and having the power to appoint or elect. Consider this example, the constituent body has a right of veto. Next up. Analogy. It's defined as a comparison between two things, typically for the purpose of explanation or clarification. For example, an analogy between the workings of nature and those of human societies. Next up. Ascribe. It's defined as attribute something to a cause. For example, he ascribed Jane's short temper to her upset stomach. Up next. Contrived. It's defined as deliberately created rather than arising naturally or spontaneously. Other words that mean the same are deliberate, careful, thoughtful. Next up. Bluff. It means an attempt to deceive someone into believing that one can or will do something. For example, the offer was denounced as a bluff. Next up. Anecdote. It means a short, amusing, or interesting story about a real incident or person. For example, told anecdotes about his job. Next up. Bout. It's defined as a short period of intense activity of a specified kind. Consider this example, occasional bouts of strenuous exercise. In other places. It's defined as a curve in the side of a violin, guitar, or other musical instrument. Moving on. Up next. Adversary. It means one's opponent in a contest, conflict, or dispute. For example, Davis beat his old adversary in the quarterfinals. The next word is confidential. It means intended to be kept secret. Consider this example, confidential information. The next word is blunder. It's defined as a stupid or careless mistake. Consider this example, she stopped, finally aware of the terrible blunder she had made. If this video helped you, there are many more like it. Feel free to leave any questions or suggestions that you have in the comments section below.